It can cost you over $45,000 hiring an employee before having 4 systems in place. And I see contractors making this exact mistake every single day. We're gonna be covering the 4 non-negotiable systems you need before hiring your first team member. Hey everyone, Amar Bashakra here from Contracting.com, where we help remodeling contractors get off the tools and build businesses that can run without them needed on the job site. So look, I've scaled my own contracting business and I've helped 400 others do the same. And I've made every hiring mistake in the book, so you don't have to. If you're working 12-hour days and thinking, I just need some help around here, well, you're in the danger zone. Hiring without the right foundations isn't just expensive, it's soul crushing. You can end up with an employee who drains your bank account while making your days longer, not shorter. Let's dive in. First up is having 3 months of solid, confirmed work. Nothing kills a new hire faster than looking in the eye and saying, I don't have work for you today. When we work with contractors, we tell them they need a minimum of 3 months of confirmed projects with at least 10% deposits paid and in the bank. Why 3 months? Because that's how long it takes for a new hire to start adding some real value instead of draining it. And the learning curve is steep and you need runway. Here's a story. In 2021, a contractor I know was swamped with work, absolutely drowning. So he hired Mike. 2 weeks later, 3 projects got delayed because of permit issues. Suddenly, he was paying Mike to stand around or do busy work. He was bored, he was stressed, and within 2 months, his employee left for a more stable job. Don't hire based on your current overwhelm. Hire based on your future workload. The practical step here is creating what I call a work visibility sheet. This is just a simple spreadsheet that maps out your confirmed jobs, the start dates, and the end dates for the next 90 days minimum. One of our clients, Jonathan, did this right. Like before hiring, he made sure he had 16 weeks of kitchen remodels lined up with deposits in the bank. And his first hire is still with him today. So here's something most contractors don't realize. The average employee costs you about 30% more than your hourly rate when you factor in taxes, insurance, and downtime. That means that your $25 an hour worker actually costs you closer to $32.50. If you're watching this and thinking, documentation sounds like corporate garbage, hit like right now. I mean, I thought the same thing for years, but that mindset is exactly what keeps you trapped on the tools. Here's the truth. You can't clone yourself until you extract what's in your head. Your way of doing things needs to exist beyond what's in your mind if we ever want to be able to go away and go fishing for a week. I'm not talking about creating like a 200-page manual nobody would read. Just start with one process. Maybe it's your morning routine, how you walk through a site with a client, or how you calculate material orders. So here's a simple approach that worked for me. Pick a task that you do repeatedly. Record yourself doing it once. You can literally just throw it in your pocket, click record, and narrate what you're doing. Then take that, transcribe it, clean it up, and put it in a Google Doc. If you hate writing, literally just take the voice memo app on your phone and a transcription service. 10 minutes of talking through can just save you hundreds of hours of frustration later. Keep your checklists to 1 page whenever possible. Nobody wants to read a wall of text. I've seen contractors try to hire without documentation, and it always goes the same way. They end up micromanaging every move their employee makes because they're not doing it right. Of course they're not. They can't read your mind. So you have to decide, do you want to spend your time documenting processes once, or explaining the same thing 50 times over and over and over? Now let's talk money. Here's the hard truth. If your pricing doesn't support paying someone 25 bucks an hour, you don't have a hiring problem. You have a pricing problem. Many contractors that I work with think that they can't afford employees, but what they really can't afford is their current pricing structure. So let's just break down the math. $25 times 40 hours for 52 weeks is $52,000. If we add 30% for taxes and benefits, that gets us to $67,600. And then if we divide that by 1,700 productive hours, we get $39.75, the real cost to hire somebody. That $25 an hour employee actually costs nearly $40 an hour when you factor in everything. And we haven't even talked about tools, vehicles, training time, or your supervision. So here are 3 common pricing mistakes that I see contractors make when scaling. First, they're not really factoring in supervision time. If you spend 10 hours a week managing your new hire, that's 10 hours you're not producing revenue the way you used to. Second, ignoring training costs. Your new hire won't be fully productive for 2 to 3 months. During that time, they're learning on your dime. And number 3, forgetting about your equipment. Every employee needs tools, maybe a vehicle, more insurance, and a cell phone. And this adds up fast. So what's the solution? Before hiring, raise your prices by 15 to 20% minimum. Test this new pricing on your new jobs, and if clients still say yes, and they will if you're providing value, be ready to hire. I had a client who kept his pricing the same after hiring 2 employees and didn't take my advice. Within 2 months, he was working 80-hour weeks, making less money than when he was solo, and we had to save him from bankruptcy. Don't be that guy. All right, the 4th thing you need isn't exciting, but it saves you thousands in headaches. It's a basic HR framework. This isn't the sexy stuff, but it's what separates profitable teams from chaotic crews. You need 4 simple documents before posting that job ad. First, a clear job description, not just experienced carpenter wanted, but an actual breakdown of their daily responsibilities, physical requirements, and must-have skills. Second, an interview question framework. Have 10 to 15 questions written down that actually tell you if someone can do the job, not just if you enjoy having a beer with them. Third, a 30, 60, 90-day expectation document. This spells out exactly what success looks like at each milestone. It's a roadmap for your new hire and creates clear accountability. And fourth, a simple onboarding checklist for their first week. What paperwork needs to be signed? What tools will you provide? Who will train them and when? I know this feels like corporate paperwork. I know I used to avoid this stuff, but here's what happens without it. You basically hire on gut feeling, expectations get misaligned, and 3 months later, you're both frustrated. So let's review the 4 foundations you need before posting that job ad. Number 1, 3 months of consistent, confirmed work with deposits in the bank. Number 2, documented processes for key tasks, starting with just 1. And 3, a pricing structure that actually supports employee costs. And 4, a basic HR framework with job descriptions and expectations. Get these 4 systems in place first, and your first hire will be 10 times more likely to succeed. They stick around longer, produce better work, and actually help you move closer to getting off the tools without babysitting. Remember, hiring should get you closer to freedom, not create another job for yourself. So do the groundwork now, and you'll basically thank yourself 6 months from now. Here's what I want you to do. If you like this video, click subscribe and comment down which one of these 4 areas are you going to be working on first. I'm going to be actually doing an effort to read a lot of these comments. And if you're serious about getting out the tools and building a contracting business that does not require you on the job site, again, hit subscribe for a new video every week. This is Amer from Contracting.com, and I'll see you in the next video.